In this video, I will show you how you can create an energy community by using the community datasheet. We will create a community in Berlin, and I will explain the details that the community datasheet contains in order to create a community. So I have already chosen here Berlin and set up the basic information of my community, and then I want to manage the members. Here you would have to download the model sheet in order to obtain the, the format that we require. So here you can see that there are several tabs. The first one being the General Settings tab, where you can select the start date and end date of the simulation that you're going to execute. In this case, it is set up for a month. You can also set up the slot length and the currency that you want to trade with. You can choose between one of the ones listed here. And also in this product, we introduce the coefficient type matching, and therefore you can choose between constant coefficient and dynamic coefficient. Then there's the community members tab, where you basically have a list of the members that you're going to invite to the community. Each of these rows corresponds to a home. So for each of these rows, a home will be created and will be associated with this particular email. So the members list name refers to the name of the user that is being invited. The email should be on this second row. And regarding the address, it's not necessary to specify a street and the number. It's just enough if the user sets the zip code and maybe the city in order for the UI to detect where the energy, the home will be located, but without exposing the user's privacy. Some users may prefer it like that. Then here we have some parameters that are that refer to the home market settings. So in this case, maybe the exchange operator or the community manager wants to set up different fees for all of these homes, different feed-in tariffs and taxes, surcharges, fixed fees, and marketplace fee. So all of these fees are going to be reflected on the UI. We'll see that in a moment. And the coefficient here refers to the coefficient matching I mentioned before. Just as a general note, these coefficients need to sum up to 1. If they do not, you won't be able to upload the community datasheet. Then we have the load tab, and here you would list the members that have a load associated to. So in this case, although we have 11 members, what we are looking at here means that only member 1 and member 2 have a load, and here the load name refers to the name the asset that the asset receives. The same, well, very analogous happens with the PV, where you have the asset name, and this is also optional in the sense that you can have members here that you can have members listed here that do not have a PV asset associated to them. You can specify the capacity, the tilt of the PV modules, and the azimuth. It happens as well analogously with the storage, where you would need to specify the member's name, the battery name. This is completely free. This is the name the asset receives. And also the capacity of the battery, the minimum allowed state of charge, which currently is can only be between 0 and 10%, and the maximum power at which the battery charges. Um, yeah, so that's basically it. And finally, we reach the profiles tab, where we have a datetime column that should correspond with the datetime specified in the general community settings or the simulation settings. And for each load, you need to have, well, for each load that you listed here, you need to include as well the profile that the load will follow. Otherwise, the UI will raise an error when you try to upload the community datasheet. And for the PV, it is optional. You can upload a custom profile, but if you do not, then the profile that is used will be a predefined profile based on the capacity that you specify here. So now I'm going to show how the community datasheet may look like when configured. So in this case, here we have the community datasheet I'm going to use for this particular example. So it's Energy Community in Berlin. The start date and end date denote that we will have a simulation that lasts for 2 days with a slot length of 30 minutes. We'll use a euro currency and the constant coefficient type. Then here we have the community members. I added different sample names with different sample emails just to for it to look a little bit more like how it would look like when actually deployed. And here I have some sample addresses as well. If you look at this particular row, you can see that I did not add any street or number, and we will see in a moment how this reflects on the map when the sheet is uploaded. Here I didn't really change anything, so we will just look that these values are reflected on the UI. In the case of the loads, I decided to assign a load to each of the members that I created here. So each of these will have a home associated, and each home will have its own load profile. Then for the PVs, I decided just to assign PVs to 5 of the members with different capacities. And for the storage, I decided only to assign a battery to 3 of the members. And here in the Profiles tab, we see that, as I mentioned before, the datetime column corresponds to the time interval that the simulation lasts. So in this case, from 25th to 27th, 25th and 26th of January. And each load is just a sample profile. These are constant loads. But as mentioned before, each load needs to have necessarily the custom profile here. The PVs are optional, but I also included these here. So now let's see. Let's upload it to the UI to see how this gets configured. So the sheet is being processed. Takes a while. And yeah, here we go. We see the homes that are that we have listed there. Then if we click here on invite members, we will see all of the members that we invited. These are based on their emails. And here in community assets, we see that indeed for every member, one home is created. We can look into this sample home, for instance, and it zooms in to this building. And yeah, we can see that we have here the load with the name load 11, PV5, and battery 3. And yeah, so basically what we have now is the energy community is was created automatically, very quickly, and we should be able to configure this. Also the market settings. Yeah. So for instance, I mentioned that each home has its own market settings. So here I just selected one of the users home, one of the members home, and you can see that the grid fee corresponds to that one specified on the community datasheet, as well as these energy bill components, which is the fees, taxes, and surcharges kind of information. And yeah, right after that, you are ready to run the simulation or to further configure, um, but now on the UI, anything that you may want to change. The main uh, the main objective of the community datasheet is to set up big energy communities, or at least energy communities that have multiple houses, which would take a long time to configure manually. And yes, we see in this example, it was it was it was really fast to set up. So I hope that was clear. Please do get in touch if you have any particular question. A member of the team will kindly answer them. Thank you.